Today we will be making sujebi. That is your hand-torn flour soup. And we'll be making two versions today. The non-spicy version as well as Kimchi Sujebi with a little bit of spiciness. It is so chewy but soft at the same time. Hi everyone, this is Helen and welcome to Modern Pepper. 안녕하세요 여러분, Modern Pepper의 헬렌입니다. So for those of you that are new to Modern Pepper channel, Modern Pepper offers instructional Korean cooking lessons for authentic Korean dishes as well as Korean fusion dishes. So please do consider subscribing. 맛있는 한식 요리와 한식 퓨전 요리를 여러분들과 영어로 함께 하겠습니다. 구독 버튼 꼭 눌러주세요. To start with, we need flour. So in here, I have 3/4 cup of flour, and we're gonna add 1/4 cup of sweet white rice flour called 찹쌀 가루, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 tablespoon of olive oil. Just mix with your fork. Using a fork, just add a little bit of water at a time. And then we're going to take our hand and just mix it together. So once it kind of gets wet and doughy enough, you put in your hand and you just kind of rotate, press. So I added about a little bit over 1/4 cup of water, and you know that amount of water will depend on sort of where you live. Certainly the altitude will have a huge effect on that. So just add enough water so that it's sticking in your hands and that the consistency looks like this. You know, just to give you a little background on sujebi. So post-Korean War, having Korean rice with every meal was not the norm because it wasn't mass-produced. The country was torn. It was just recovering from the Korean War. What was common was eating dishes made out of flour dough. My aunts, they all talk about how back then, people would just learn how to be very creative and make dishes using white flour dough. So this is to give you perspective on this dish, that it's really a humble dish, a quick dish, and also a lazy dish that you could just whip up together in one pot meal. So I thought that this would be an ideal dish to kind of share with everyone, especially given our situation right now with everyone being in a lockdown or shelter in place. So once you are done hand kneading like this for 5 minutes, your dough should look kind of soft and you should be able to stretch it out like this and still wet enough in your hands like that. And then we're gonna shape it into a ball, and you use this palm right here to kind of shape it like that. And then place it in here. See, it's still a little sticky. And then put a saran wrap on it. I have another one prepared because, like I mentioned earlier, we're gonna make two versions. One is the non-spicy version, the basic sujebi. The second one is we're gonna add kimchi to it and make it Kimchi Sujebi, which is also very, very delicious. So here are the ingredients that we need. We need 2 garlic cloves, finely minced. We need 1 scallion cut in a biased angle. We need 1/4 of a medium-sized white onion. And we'll be using dried anchovies called 멸치 다시 to make our broth. So here's my second set that I put together because we're going to be making 2 sujebis simultaneously. It's super easy. So if you know everything about Korean dried anchovy, 멸치, then skip this part and forward it to the timeline that you see right here. Otherwise, please do watch this part. So 멸치 is essential for making broth for so many Korean soups and broth and stews. And you could buy this at any Korean market, but you could also order them online. And if you go to my website at modernpepper.com/store, all the stuff will be available for you to conveniently order at home. Now, we're in a lockdown, so if you don't have this and you can't order it, then just use chicken broth. I mean, it'll work. If you don't have chicken broth, use vegetable broth. I mean, that'll work too. But it is ideal to use Korean dried anchovies. There's two things that you should know. They have these little ones, and some of them come smaller than this, and then they have these big guys. And the big guys is what you want to use to make our broth. The small guys are used as a side dish, banchan, and you saute it with onions and other things to make it a side dish. But the big guys is what you need to use for broth. These are delicacies. Now the ones I have are about 2 inches long. If it's anything below 1 inch, that's really not ideal to make broth with, so keep that in mind. I've seen ones that are like 4 inches long almost, and those are uber expensive. So if someone ever gifts you that, you are in for a treat. The only thing you need to do is split open the center cavity here and just take out this dried intestine part. That's it. Everything else stays. The head has so much flavor, the bone has so much flavor. Many people make the mistake of snapping the head off, taking the bone out. Don't do that. You want to keep this as is because all this together is going to give you so much flavor. And the other essential ingredient is sea kelp called Dashima. It smells salty. It smells like the sea ocean smell. I mean, it's hard to explain, but this is a must, and you want to use about the size of your hand for 6 cups of broth that we're using. Now here's my secret ingredient that my grandma always adds when she used to make me sujebi is potato. It makes the broth like kind of starchy and a bit extra sweet. It's really good together. So we're going to cut these into big chunks, just about 3-4 pieces. For our Kimchi Sujebi, of course you need really good kimchi, and you must use kimchi that's extra fermented. In Korean we call it 묵은 kimchi, or so extra fermented that if you eat it alone, it's just too tangy and you're just like, That's where you want to be, okay? And with gloves on and using a plate and kitchen scissors, I like to cut my kimchi here so that you don't create a mess on your cutting board. So we're going to put about a cup of kimchi in here for us to use. You could add more or less, that's up to you. And about 2 tablespoons of kimchi juice. So bring 6 cups of water to boil. Close the lid, and we're going to come back in 5 minutes and your heat remains at high. So while our anchovies are boiling, we're going to make the soy sauce seasoning sauce for our sujebi. It's called 양념 간장. It is uber easy to make, so we're going to make that now. So we have 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. To this, I'm going to add half a tablespoon of Korean red pepper flakes, gochugaru, half a teaspoon of gaesogum, that's roasted sesame seeds. We need 1 scallion. And half a teaspoon of sesame oil. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes, so we're gonna pull out our anchovies. Now, these guys, don't throw it away. You could dip it in gochujang, Korean red pepper paste with rice and eat it. I would not throw this away. And then we're gonna quickly add our sea kelp. And we're gonna add our potatoes. We wanna actually overcook the potatoes so it kind of disintegrates in there. And we're gonna close our lid again. So I like to extract just the essence of the dried anchovies flavor. For me, when I cook it in there for more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes or longer, it starts overcooking and you get this like funky smell of fish, which I don't like. So that's my personal preference. Ooh, this is boiling. So keep the temperature at medium high or high, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Now here's my other secret ingredient. This is 소고기 dashida and this is 멸치 dashida. This is your anchovy bouillon powder. So it's a flavor enhancer. Now there's no wrong and right. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. You don't have to use it. I like to use it because I like to mimic the taste of how it tastes at restaurants. And I grew up where my grandma always used this, my mom used it, my aunts use it, everyone uses it in my family, but that doesn't mean that you have to. But it does up your game when it comes to how delicious the broth will be if you use a little bit of this. So beef dashida, this is really good if you're making beef-based or pork-based soup. It's really, really good. All right, so it's been 10 minutes. Okay, and then we're gonna fish out just the sea kelp. This too, I wouldn't throw away. I would use it when I make kimchi chicken next time. I wouldn't throw it away, or I would eat it with rice and gochujang. I mean, this is super healthy. So here's our two doughs. So the portion we're making is for like a large, maybe one adult size, or you could share it with 2 people and not overeat. This has been resting for 20 minutes. So I just want to show you. It should feel like the Play-Doh, but slightly more moist, and be able to kind of stretch it out like that. Now this is ready to go in. Before we put it in here, just like kind of re-smush it again for like a good minute or 2. And this part has to go super fast. So my heat is at like medium high right now. When it comes to cooking sujebi dough, and just like with noodles, you want to make sure your water or broth is boiling super high and that there's enough broth in there. So you just hold it in your hand, you pull some out, and you literally press it down. Now you could stretch it out as much as you can like this, and then dump it in there, and then repeat the process. You can make it smaller, but the key is to kind of stretch it and make it messy, like so. So this is what I have left. We're gonna add our garlic, onions, and we're gonna add our kimchi juice, 2 tablespoons. And we're just gonna mix it. Ooh, it's starting to smell really good already. We're gonna put our lid on it. It stays at medium high, and we're gonna cook it for about good 5 to 8 minutes. And here's our second dough for our second pot of sujebi that we're making. One's almost done. This is it. Stretch and pull, and here. And we're gonna add white onions and garlic, some black pepper, and come back to it in about 5 to 7 minutes at medium-high heat. So it's been about good 7 to 8 minutes, and these guys are ready. So now it's time to taste. I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of our 멸치 dashida. Mix it. OMG, it's so good. Oh my goodness. We're just gonna add our greased scallions. I'm gonna turn off my heat and then quickly transfer this to a bowl. Look at that, perfect for 1 serving. So now we're gonna taste the broth for our non-spicy sujebi. Oh, the broth is so nice and light. Oh, it's just so yummy. So this, you wanna make it kind of bland because we're gonna be using the 양념 간장, the seasoning soy sauce. So at this point, you wanna keep it mild, definitely not salty. I'm not even gonna add the 멸치 dashida in here because this is so good as is. Some of you Might not need to add this because it might just taste really good as is. You could add it or not add it, so it's really up to you. So I'm just gonna add the scallions. Okay, now it's time to taste. And we have our special guest, my favorite taster, right?
Yeah.
What is your name?
James.
Oh, you want to give mommy a kiss? Okay, no, not on camera. All right, so let's first start with the classic sujebi that's not spicy, and let's go for the broth. You gotta blow on it, it's hot. What do you think of the broth?
It's potatoey.
It's potatoey, it's starchy. We purposely overcooked the potatoes so that it melted into our broth, which makes it taste really yummy. So speaking of the potato, let's have a taste. The potato's like melting in my mouth. Ooh. Now we're gonna have our flour dough that we tore with our hands. You want me to feed you one? Go ahead. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
It's very chewy, but not too chewy that it takes forever to chew. And I like it.
I have to have another one. As you can hear, it is so chewy, but soft at the same time. It like sticks to your mouth. Oh, it's really yummy. So with this dish, as soon as it's done cooking, you need to transfer it to a bowl and eat it right away, or else it gets bloated. And the last thing you want to do is keep it in the pot and turn it into sponge. That is not good. No bueno. We're gonna add our seasoning soy sauce, and you just want to mix it in. And this will enhance the taste. Now it would taste completely different, right? Okay, have a taste of the broth now. Go for it. Tastes totally different, right?
It has a little bit of kick from the peppers.
That's true. Yummy. Doesn't it taste different now that we added the seasoning sauce?
Yes.
It tastes better? Okay. I like it both ways. I like that mild taste, but I also like the seasoning taste. So depending on your salty preference, you could add more or less of this 간장 양념, the soy sauce seasoning sauce. Okay, the other way to eat it is take a small piece of potato and you kind of mash it against the side of your bowl, and then it makes your broth extra thick with the yummy taste of mashed potato. Now the other thing to do, you want to spice it up a little bit more. You take a piece of kimchi, you put it in here, and you wash it in the broth. So that will make your non-spicy sujebi a little bit spicier if you like. So this is a bite full of everything with kimchi. The kimchi juice just made this taste totally different. Oh, you have to have kimchi with this when you make sujebi. It's a must. And you could learn how to make kimchi too. It's not that hard. I have a video recipe for that, so check it out. Now we're gonna try the kimchi sujebi. You ready for this? I think you could handle the heat. What do you think?
Maybe.
I think you can. I've seen you eat kimchi jjigae. You're pretty good at it. All right, let's go for the broth. It has a little bit of kick, but It has this refreshing taste from the kimchi, and the kimchi is extra fermented. So when it's extra fermented, it gives this really, really nice sort of refreshing taste to whatever broth and soup you make. All right, so let's taste the flour piece. Okay? Tastes different from this one, right? The flour dough in here, as you can hear, is very chewy, but it's soaked up all this like kimchi juice and the kimchi flavors. It makes it taste totally different. Oh, that's yummy. All right, and same thing with the potato. You kind of mash it up against the side of the bowl and to create this like velvety kind of starchy potato broth. Cheers. Cheers. Is it spicy? A little bit? Do you need some water?
No.
Okay. And then, why don't you go get some water? He just whispered he needs to get some water. So I'm gonna create a bite with everything on it. Potato and kimchi all together. Ready for some more? I am starting to perspire. But that's why we love spicy food. Oh, this is so good. Okay, I'm gonna have one more bite. Because there's people waiting right there, over there. They're all like waiting for us to finish so they could have some. All right, one more bite.
Potato.
I hope you enjoyed watching today's video, and if you did, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it if you would click on that thumbs up icon. And for those of you that did not subscribe yet, make sure to click on that subscribe button so we could make more authentic Korean dishes as well as Korean fusion dishes together. You're good? 여러분 오늘 재밌게 보셨으면 꼭 좋아하는 버튼 눌러주세요. 그리고 구독 버튼도 눌러주시고요. Everyone, I will see you in the next video. Please to check out these other Korean stews and soup dishes that you could easily make at home. So I will see you in the next video. All right, you guys can come and eat now.